Hello again, Mirrorscapers. This is Liger's Eye from the Mirrorscape Discord forums. Today's topic is circles. It is circle time. Talk about how we can take all of these square pieces and make something a little rounder out of them. Big disadvantage that we see with all of our pieces here is that they are by default set on a square grid. So when we want to build something from them, we are limited to squares, boxes, lines, rectangles, etc. There are some pieces, if you want to expand your library, there are pieces designed to be circles to begin with, which are obviously fantastic looking and make for tower building really quick and easy. That we can just rotate these into place and build a tower nice and fast. The one disadvantage I see of this, though, is that you are limited to that size of a tower. Now, of course, you can select all those pieces and you can scale them up and down, but depending on what you're needing, that scale can break immersion a little bit if you don't want the texture to be quite so big in comparison to the pieces around. So what I want to show you is how we can take a regular square piece and turn it into something round. And as simple as it is, it's not something you think of just intuitively. What I'm going to do, I'm going to find some floor pieces here that I will use as spacers. Just use this basic floor piece here. So I'll make a couple copies of these and place them down. And so we've got a basic row here, floor and walls. And what we're going to do is use the rotation tool with a copy of this, set it kind of on top, and we're going to rotate that 90 degrees. So we've got a quick plus sign. Building off of that, copy the whole thing, paste again, line it up, drop it in place, and rotate again. So by now you should start seeing kind of where I'm going with this. And for this size shape, getting it lined up can be tough. There we go. Drop into place, rotate, and now we have our own custom circle. Nice little floor pattern there in the center. And obviously these are still straight walls, but they're arranged in such a way that they really give that circle feeling. And of course, if we want to build a tower, lay over the top, raise it up, and there we go. 2-story tower in less than, what, a minute? Now, the one disadvantage to my little method here is that in the center, we now have, I didn't even do the math, but we've got like 8 copies of a floor piece in the center, which are overlapping one another. There we go. There's our centerpiece. And they all contribute to the count of pieces that we have. So if you are building a very large map and you are in danger of coming up against that limit I believe it is like 10,000 minus 1, so 9,999. If you're if there's a chance you're going to come up against that limit, this is going to cause you problems. Now, one thing you can do to avoid that here, and I'm actually going to undo, rewind here. One thing you can do, once you've reached a point here where you have sufficiently overlapped, you can remove pieces from, and back by one, you can remove those extra pieces so that the next time you copy this into place, you've got fewer pieces that you're pasting down. Now we've got some overlap in here. If you want to take the time, you can carefully delete some, but see, even with this, I've now added a gap to the floor. So we'll put that one back. So other than just building towers, we're going to do a few variations on this that I've come across. I'm going to use this narrow hall, and the reason for it is when you use just the basic kind of L-shaped wall, technically you've got a really thin wall for a large structure. But if you're using a hallway piece as your outer wall, so to speak, you've got some depth to it. So like before, we'll just put a couple pieces opposite. Let me grab another floor tile. And actually, we're going to go big this time. So make a couple of copies of these. Okay, so now we're working with something pretty large. I don't know if you caught what I was doing there. I had to... Yeah, I think I might be a little off there. I thought I'd use an odd number of pieces. I didn't take the time to count. So my plus sign, you can see, is a little off center there. So let me rewind here and just double check. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we do have an even number. Having trouble getting exactly lined up here. And this is where it's a little better to do an odd number. So I'm going to reverse this again. Back out of here, and let's remove 1. That way it's just a little easier to center. With the snap tool. There we go. I think we are even there. So now we need to be a little more precise with our positioning on the rotation. See how we're building up that floor again on the inside. A little jittery. There we go. Sometimes you have to grab the edge rather than somewhere in the center. Okay, we're going to drop this. Rotate. Yeah, I'm a little off here. Yep, that's a little uneven. Well, rather than repeat all of that, I'm going to just go ahead and move forward here, since I'm trying to keep this a somewhat short video this time. And let me help myself here and get rid of, oops. Oh, here we go. I'm going to turn rotation off. Okay, so we got a little funky circle here. The problem with this basic idea, though, is that if you've got a tower with this much diameter, there's a good chance it's not going to be straight floor to floor to floor right above this. You may actually want something a little more hollow. So rather than building this with the floor inside, we're going to cheat here a little, and we're going to take out some of the floor. And I could have done this early on, but I wanted to show you the contrast between a full floor and no floor. And part of the reason I like using the hallway pieces. When you use an L shape, you're guaranteed to have a horizontal component to what you're building. But when you use the hallway, you will have a wall all the way around with no floor to have to hide away. Or rather, it's hidden between the two halves of the, the two walls of the hallway. So, assuming we actually took some time and kept this clean, we can now copy and stack a hollow tower all the way up. And let me just turn my snap off altogether. Since we're being messy here, I'm not going to be too concerned with the exact lining up. So, much quicker building tall towers with the hollow structure. And then, of course, if you wanted to keep a floor, you would just make a copy of the circle with the floor, set that aside, and then build up a hollow floor. Okay, so something else that you can use the rotation tool for making quick work of something not square. We're going to talk stairs. So I like to use this 1x2 floor piece because it approximates the size of a staircase when stacked properly. The other thing it does, though, is approximates the size of a staircase for spiral, and we will do that right here. Actually, now I need my snap back on. Line these back up. So to keep these even, I'm actually going to build two stairs right on top of one another, or adjoined, kind of a double helix. Like before, you copy, stack, and then you give it a rotation. And I have rotation lock off, or snap off. So I'll try to do all of this lining up freehand. And I think I'd like that a little tighter. So there we go. Get those corner edges lined up best that I can. So line up again and rotate. See, we're already getting some decent stair structure here. Help this out and try lining it up by hand. Decent little spiral. So we've got 8 steps high, which is about the height of a standard wall, I believe. Slightly higher. So this will get you a full floor. But since we do have 2 sets of stairs actually spiraling together, we can separate by just multi-selecting one of a set of stairs here and just move it to the side. So we've got 1 set of stairs, and we can use this group as before. Line them up. Gotta turn snap off. There we go. So now we got 2 floors worth of stairs. Of course, you wouldn't have these stairs just out in the open. They'll usually be inside a tower of their own, and there's a specific piece I like to use to do that. A minute here to sort through the library. Here it is. Dwarven Forge. 1x1 straight wall. We're going to pull this one out and drop it down. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one of these pieces. Now we need snap back on, and space them accordingly. To build our tower. Oop. Forgot. Stairs are a little wider than that. So this should match the diameter of the stairs minus the little L shape here. So to cover for that, I'm going to turn snap off, and we'll just inch this in just a tad. Okay, so now that we've got them lined up, we can get rid of the floors. Recenter these here, and we'll copy paste. Get them into position. Now, I shouldn't have deleted those, and I'll explain why here in just a second. Yeah. Forgot, I still use these pieces, floor pieces, to help align this correctly. And I need my snap back on for rotation. Okay, so now I've got just a little fudging here. I've got my my stair tower, and I can delete the floor from inside. Now we do still have this lip going around to deal with, but at least it will kind of indicate where each floor is going to be. So when we stack these up here, there we go. And since that should be the right diameter, we now have our new stairs. Oh, looks like I need to drop this down. Let me back up here. Missed a piece. Make sure we're floor level. There we go. Now, it might actually be easier to copy the stairs, select the stairs, and drop them into the little tower, but that works pretty well. And then for any point where the stairs meet our other little floor here, you can remove that piece, and that floor then becomes our exit. Pretty simple. Of course, this also works on the larger scale. I won't copy this down, but or build this one out. But if you were to space these spirals out to the same diameter as our larger tower from earlier, you could have a staircase that goes all the way around the inside circumference of that tower. So one last demonstration here for circles. Let's talk about roofs. So for any of these towers that we're building, unless it is going to be like a castle tower with kind of a flat top to it, we do want some kind of roof over everything. And the traditional roofs that we have, roof pieces that we have currently from Fat Dragon, this is this triangle-shaped piece, pretty flat, pretty wide. And to cap those off, we use these tall front wood A. So it's just we'll call it a single piece width roofing. And what we can do is take these, and we're going to use this to make a peak. But first, let's see, I'm going to put snap on, make sure I've got our rotation snap on. To start this off, I definitely need these pieces to align properly, and snap is the only good way to do that. Dark pieces, so let's turn up the light a little bit. That's a little better. I should have started off that way, huh? Okay, so we've got our peak. Now we want the floor below. So I'm going to space these out, line them up, then select the insides and raise them approximately into place. Okay, I'm going to take snap off here because I want this to look like a smooth transition here. That's a little better. So now you've got the nice even slope. There we go. Okay, so we've got a nice kind of 2-story high peak going here. So we were talking round towers. Just like we did before, we're going to take this, rotate it, get it aligned. And repeat just as before. Now the roofs get a little more finicky when it comes to aligning. My only real suggestion is to be patient and keep monitoring for how all the sides line up. It can be a little bit off. Sad to say the players aren't going to really notice that kind of detail, but obviously you're building the map, you're gonna know where some of the defects are coming from. Okay, now we're about at the point where I need to turn rotation. Rotate, snap off. You can start to see how some of these aren't lining up quite the same as others. Some of those imperfections are multiplying. But unless your world exists in a place with high precision equipment and architects, it's not going to matter a lot. Okay, so now we have a round peak that we can drop onto one of our towers. And then obviously the greater diameter on the tower, you would add a third or fourth layer or level of these roofing pieces so that they stack and flare out. So that was circle time. Just a few different tips for building something round in a square environment. I will be back again with some more tips. And in the meantime, get building. We'll see you later, Scapers.